Hey everyone, welcome back. Icon here. Thank you so much for checking out another episode of Esports Analysis. Before we get into the actual breakdown today, just real quick, over here on the left side, I just want to shout out all of my super donos. So everybody with the super chats, those that have subscribed and gained membership, the tier 1 memberships to my channel. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it so much. So One Man Army got dunked on, Ramby, an American Hero, Cameron, Edward Selecki, and Mandy C. Thank you so much for the donations. There's a link down below if you want to become a member of the nation, so that's always there. But with that, I don't want to harp on it too long. I just told those people that I would shout them out in a video, so thank you guys for that. And with that, let's go ahead and let's hop into today's video. So with that, we are going to be hopping on board with Dylan ENVOY. So ENVOY has been playing out of his mind. I saw before this that he had a pretty good game here, so that's just something to look for. But as we hop into this, they are going to battle against Florida, so kind of a little bit of a rematch to that semifinal that we saw in CDL Atlanta. This one does, however, go a little bit differently. Now, again, who knows where the host was, who knows where all this took place, and all that sort of things. Online is always different than on land, but if you're a Chicago fan, this is a little bit pleasing, right? So they've struggled a little bit as of late, so this is nice to see that them come out and be a little bit dominant. So as we're watching right now, you can see that in terms of score, I don't know, this first hill doesn't really matter all that much. They are down by 10, but again, it's the first hill, so it's not all that important. What is important is trying to set up spawns for the next. So above ENVOY's head, right up there, you'll see that there's a mini-map. I'm going to go ahead and draw on that, and essentially right now you can see that as ENVOY comes up off the spawn right now, he is spawning over here in boxes. So as we're about to go from P1 over to P2, they're spawning on the complete opposite side of the map, and that is absolutely not where you want to be. So right now you can see ENVOY went through mid-map and he's pushing out this right side, and essentially that's what they have to do. So as we go back to the second side, now this is going to be one of those hill times where it becomes kind of contested, right? Everything from here on out on the second hardpoint will be contested. So as of right now, Chicago is spawning on the right-hand side of the map. So that means that Florida, I know these colors are somewhat similar, but Florida is going to be spawning on the left-hand side of the map. So honestly, I'm a little bit surprised that this isn't contested. It is right now, but I'm surprised that they were able to get so many points off of that hard point, because normally once one team comes from one side and then Chicago comes from the other side, that ends up being just basically a contested hill the majority of the rest of that time. So one thing that I will say is that that's a phenomenal job of Chicago of breaking out of that, because normally that's something that's really hard to combat. If you're not the team that doesn't have, so if you're not the team that has spawns for P2, that's really hard to break. And then after this, what you're going to see is that now this is the new strategy. So let me go ahead, let me pause this real quick just so everybody can see this, because everybody in my chat and my comments down below have said that they like sometimes to just take a second and just slow things down so you can see exactly what's happening. So P2 back here is controlled by Chicago. So essentially, rather than try to go over to P3 and just go right through BDOM or where Cole is, a lot of teams are electing to push out through P4. And essentially what you're going to see is that's exactly what ENVOY just did, is they'll throw a smoke right here. Because if Florida is in P3, then what they're going to do is they're going to try to kill you as you cross here. So that smoke allows them to get through. And then eventually they're going to go all the way and push out P5. And if you can push out P5, now you're going to be getting this beneficial spawn. And now you have the spawns for P3, for P4, and ultimately back for P5. I know that there is a ton of drawing on the screen right there, but hopefully you were able to follow as we talked about what exactly is happening right now. So if you're ENVOY at the moment, your goal is just to hold down these back spawns, and there is somebody behind him. So if ENVOY goes down, now that's a big trade from Gunless, because if Gunless doesn't get that kill, then as the next Chicago players come up off of spawns, they're not going to be getting that back spawn anymore. So it didn't seem like maybe that big of an interaction, but if ENVOY goes down and Gunless doesn't trade that out, now all of a sudden all that work and all that time that they've given up trying to flip spawns is going to be all for none, because they're not going to be able to get that spawn moving forward. So with 20 seconds left, it looks like they were able to overtake P3, and now if you're ENVOY, you're going to go ahead and you're going to try to give that up a little bit. Let's see where they spawn. So they did still get that back spawn, but ENVOY, potentially what he was doing there is Chicago looked like they had the majority of the rest of the time there in P3. So since they had that time, he was just going to push out into P4 and try to at least contest, or if you can get the majority of that time, great. But the big goal there was just to try to contest as it rotated from P3 to P4. And now you can see that, now this is really nice for Chicago. Not only do they have inside of P4, but they also have spawns. And this is the big pickup right here. That's a massive 2-piece from ENVOY. A lot of people in my chats have been saying, like, what's OGLA missing? What is Toronto missing? What is even a team like Seattle, right? What are those teams missing? And that's it right there. They're missing a Slayer from just a raw Slayer that can drop 30, 40 kills any given map, that can lock down a single lane all by themselves. So when ENVOY was on that left-hand side of the map watching down flanks, if he doesn't get that kill, then they're probably going to spawn out, right? It's a 1v1. So if he doesn't get that double kill, essentially what's going to happen is either Chicago's not going to rotate back because the other 4 of them were pushed up into P4, or if he goes down, then they're going to get pushed out. They're going to lose spawns. So again, it's just those little kills, those little 2 pieces like that end up making a map. And now all of a sudden, as it's going back to P5, you can see exactly kind of what's happening right now. It's 95 to 83. I figure if they get one more team kill, so they were able to get one there. Arcity's got a 3-piece, Scump got one. But if they can get one more team kill, then they're going to get the rest of these points here. So there's 33 seconds left. You can see that everybody's pushing through front from Florida. We'll see what happens with those kills. Somebody went through Doggy. There's 3 dead. There's 4 dead. There's potentially one more. And then Seth got the last. So that's a team gun battle win. So with that, they're able to lock down the last 20 seconds. And now all of a sudden, instead of being like a 60 to 80 game, right? They were down by like 10 or 15 points. Now they get all of those points. You add those next 8 points, and now they're going to be up by 60 as it rotates through to the second set of rotations. Again, P2 and P5 are the ones that are absolutely most important, and if you're a fan of any of these squads, that's a perfect rotation back to P5. Not only were they able to flip when it went to P3, but they were able to contest and get time in P4. Then as it went back, they were able to hold down the left-hand flank side of the map. They were able to capitalize and get all of those clutch kills inside of P5, and now we're looking at what might be a blowout. If they're able to flip spawns here, then you're really talking about being in the danger zone if you're Florida. So with that, again, I love the fact that we're able to watch scrims again, just because now we can go ahead and we can listen to their communication. And as ENVOY comes up off spawn right there, you can see that they flipped. So I would expect this one to be over relatively quickly, if we're being honest here. So with that, let's go ahead. Let's listen to their strategy, and let's hear exactly what they're talking about. I'm still going to be able to chime in where I feel things are important, but let's listen and hear what they're talking about.
Yeah, I'm trying to play you. Trying to cut off.
That's your shit, right?
I'm backing up.
I'm pitching them right. So they're
Nice.
Big kill on the right-hand side by RCDs. Looks like there's one more pushing. Let's see if they can get that kill or
They're
not.
probably in the back, guys.
got me.
They're going at the back.
There's 2 in window, 2 in window.
AC hurt. It's Brad.
Back to hill. I'm trying to rotate back to hill right now.
Oh. The guy backdoor hurt.
So that was a really heady play from ENVOY. He knew that they were pushing out the back. He just had the low ground. He couldn't finish that kill on PRESTINNI.
I'm in time. Side door. He's still side door.
But this, if you're Florida, this is super important because there's still 30 seconds left in this current hill. So it can either be a 200 to 100 game, or it can be a 170 to 130 game. One is going to look really bad. The other one will be somewhat still in reach. And again, Gunless with the 2-piece, that's just what Gunless does, right? He just does those little things that get overlooked. Now you can see the push as you're rotating from P2 to P3. So they're going to get the rest of the 6 seconds here. They're going to be up by 90 points, and they're going to have spawns for P3, P4, and P5.
On hill.
I got one P5, guys. I'm just staying alive.
That's the second rotation in a row where ENVOY pushed out the flank and got the clutch kill on the back guy in spawn.
Yeah,
so we'll see
where
where they end up going down. Another clutch kill. ENVOY is literally controlling those spawns for the next hardpoint all by himself.
I need time. He's dead on time, dead on time.
4 seeds are weak.
Four is dead.
Four.
Boxes full health.
On the back still.
Flashing.
So this is a little bit different from the first set of rotations here in that they don't have the back spawn, they have the full spawn. So now essentially all you're trying to do is just push out into boxes like what you're going to see ENVOY doing right here. Push out into boxes, try to get anybody that's going through there, and then look A down. So if you can push into boxes and get kills right here, now all of a sudden you can keep them off of spawns, and you can even push out spawns for P4, P5. So that's a total different strategy, a total different look from the first set of rotations to the second set.
Got me push up rock already.
He's one shot, left side.
And right now it's 232 to 108. So if you're Chicago, you're not even really concerned about trying to push out spawns. If you're ENVOY and you can push out a little bit and you can get the rest of the time and you can get kills before they're able to get into the current hard point, you can win off of this, right? You need 13 seconds.
I need a box. I'm looking bathroom.
I would have liked to have seen ENVOY push through middle there. If he could push through middle and potentially pinch anybody that might be pushing them from mid-map. Because essentially right now he's doing the same role that somebody else was doing.
I got two.
A two-piece.
And one more there, one more
There's
left.
one more. If they can kill Mox, they might be able to win off of this one. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. Oh, maybe. 3, 2. Will they get it? One tick. They did get it. Wow. Clutched up there. So that's just the beauty of knowing that you have such a lead that you can still push that. And even if you give up the entire next 60 points, it's going to be 249 to 270, and you're still going to end up winning, even if you don't push out P5 at all, right? So phenomenal job there of Chicago. They really did control the rotations on the map all the way around. As we go ahead, I'm going to pause it right here, but you can see ENVOY win 30 and 25. That's just what he does. I mean, he's so good. This is what a lot of teams are missing, is that they don't have the pure slaying power from the SMG position. Gunless dropped 29. RCD's Formal and Seth really had not so good of a game, right? If you look down underneath, Mox with 26. You don't want to see Skies with 17. So part of Florida's success at Atlanta had to deal with Skies' ability to just slay out from his role. So you don't really like to see that. But again, it's online. Who knows where the host is and all of that. So who knows? But if you're new around here, thank you so much for checking out another episode. If you guys have any comments about this video whatsoever, put them down below. I like to respond to whatever you guys put down there. I love the interactions. Don't forget to leave a like before you head on your way. If you want to become a member of the nation, I'll put that link down in the description below. And with that, thank you guys so much. I'll check you in the next episode.